In this video, I'm going to show you how to install and use the Enviz VR 360 Tour plugin. You want to begin by dragging and dropping the plugin installation folder into the Max file. We're just going to install our EVR controller, and that creates a menu up the top in Enviz VR. Start by opening the 360 renders component. This is going to allow us to place cameras in our scene and take panoramic renders. So I've got my test scene here, and the first thing I'm going to do is turn off the roof. I can then go into my top view and click Add Camera Points to begin placing cameras. Just as a tip, you want to ensure your cameras have line of sight to each other to ensure that you generate a good tour experience. Once completed, I will just review my work and ensure that the render output file goes somewhere that I'm okay with. Then we can begin setting up our render settings. For a final render, I would recommend a 4K 60-minute render time, but as this is just a preview, I'm going to go to 1K at a quarter minute and confirm render settings. It's going to confirm it's going to take about 2 minutes to render. Now in the background, it's generating my tour information, as well as bringing up these render settings here. So I can check the settings and add any effects I want or add render elements. However, please know that just the default render settings are configured for 360 panoramas. Now I'm going to remember to turn my roof back on. And please note there's only one camera in the scene, so per camera exposure control settings won't work. If you do need exposure control, you need to go up to Render, Exposure Control, and select a global exposure control setting. Now that's all set up, I can begin my render. Now that our renders are completed, we can move on to the next part of the plugin. I'm going to open up the viewer, and you can see by default, it's changed the input folder to our render output folder, and it lists all the panoramas we created. I'm just going to first build in a preview mode, and I'm going to give it a title. Now I can simply upload my images, and it will produce a web link. Opening this web link now gives me a preview 360 tour, where I can click in between the images I generated in 3ds Max. You can see that the hotspot points are automatically generated from the plugin. I can continue iterating and improving my renders, and then when I finally am happy with them and render my 4K renders, I can then build in a final mode. And I can give it a new name, Tutorial Final, and in this mode you will also have to enter an email. And then we can simply upload again and open a link. This new link gives us a slightly different web page. It still functions just like before, but it also provides your client with an embeddable link for their website. If you have any other questions, do not hesitate to contact us at technology@envisionvr.com.au.